Hello and welcome to the Straightened Out Podcast. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Graziano and the creator of the cult classic Mob Wives. We're here today redoing our intro episode because we fucked the first one up. And of course I couldn't do this alone, so I'm here with my two co-hosts, Antonia, aka Tonesy Macaroni Arcabasio, and Robert Valentino Pepicino, aka Rob Pep. Hey guys.
Hey girl!
Hello, Miss Jennifer. Listen to me.
Our first episode was so anticlimactic, and that's the reason why you're seeing us right here like this. We're tanner, we're skinnier, our hair colors have changed because we watched that shit, and we need to redo that shit.
I did my take for the intro 1,700 times, and I'm still doing that again today. But so we don't kill you and make you watch me do this 800 times. We're going to tell you very quickly what our podcast is about. But I'm going to let Rob do it so he don't F it up.
All right. If you're here, you're listening, you're watching, you found yourself in the right place, okay? This is not a first of its kind, but we're definitely the first time you are breaking the fourth wall and chit-chatting about Mob Wives. Mob Wives, I think, changed reality TV. I think it made superstars out of the ladies, the wives, right? And we are here to rewatch the episodes. So are we a rewatch? Are we a podcast? What are we?
I'm calling it a rewind. We're going back in time, we're watching the episodes, and we're telling the truth about what really happened behind the scenes.
Now, why do you feel like we have to tell the truth about these episodes? Is there some stories out there that isn't true?
Oh, yeah, that's
Are
not good.
bitches telling lies?
Well, not necessarily the truth, more so what happened that you didn't see on camera. So you can't put everything in an episode, right? Some things have to hit the cutting room floor. So some of the things that we actually did cut never made it to air, but kind of influenced what you did see on air. So a lot of our cast members want to come back on, tell the missing pieces of their story.
Their side of the story.
Exactly.
And your side of the story.
And my side of the story as the producer. It's very difficult for me most of the time to be behind the scenes with a group of friends and my sister that I've known pretty much my whole life. So we're just really chit-chatting about what that was like.
I mean, and it's no secret that you don't like to be on television. You don't like to be in front of the camera. So the fact that you're even sitting here, I mean, I knew, Rob knew, you're like Oz. You hold the key to Emerald City. You know everything that was going on.
Well, that's why we're actually doing the podcast. So I think it was Rob's idea, right? And then he brought it to you. Why don't we go back and let everyone know how this came about?
Let's
Okay.
rewind. All right, so let's go back to me and Jen Graziano meeting.
Oh, God. I'm going to let you tell it.
We share a mutual friend. We were both at the barbecue. I walk in. Jennifer Graziano was on her 90-second jail phone call of the day. And she was very not friendly, but whatever. Now, it was a long day of a lot of drinks, and she was looking for her keys to go home. Now, before she found her keys, she found a piece of chalk that looked like a bomb pop. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's a red, white, and blue ice pop. She picked it up and proceeded to try to eat it. I, in that moment, knew she, in fact, was probably too drunk to drive home. So me, being the person I was, I offered, would you like me to drive you home? Well, it's like I offered to, I don't know, put a hit out on her firstborn. You would have thought what I asked her. She was not happy. She was not pleased. She was not taking it. So Jennifer then proceeded to go inside and carry on about, oh, who does that girl think she is? I can't drive home. I got this, blah, blah, blah. Also, she thought I was louder than her sister Renee, which we could take a poll. I might be. Who knows? Depends on the day, the time, the
were
place.
that night. So I left there telling everyone, I hate this girl. I never want to see her again.
And then 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, whatever it was, much to my dismay, my phone was ringing. It was a text message from Jen Graziano asking for a blowout. And from that day forward, we've been friends ever since.
And she has quieted down just a tad bit, but not really.
I know. I think I've taken on some of Jen's persona. I'm like, let's just be quiet and sit and not do anything.
Yes. And in my defense, I was not mean. I was I'm an introvert until I'm an extrovert. I don't really take on too many new people until I get to know them a little better. And upon first glance, or really upon first audio, you were not my type of girl.
It is what it is. I'm an acquired taste. I might not be a cup of tea, but I'm your glass of champagne, okay?
Oh, shit.
And you, Rob, when did it all come into play? When did you enter this circle? or triangle per se.
We can't talk about the triangle unless we talk about us first. Because you brought me into the triangle.
I know, so when did that happen?
So let me give you guys a little backstory on how me and Antonia met. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we both knew of each other prior to us becoming friends because we always had mutual friends, I feel like. We were always
100%.
adjacent through friendship. Then, to make a long story short, we both met through a bitch that we no longer fuck with.
Period.
She's no longer in our lives. So yeah, we met through a girl that we don't speak to anymore. I think I said that once, twice, 3 times. Hopefully she don't appear like Beetlejuice. But I've loved Antonia from the second I met her. She's just like me.
No, you didn't.
As
Don't
much-
admit
So we
you
had
didn't.
totally opposite
All right.
reactions.
No,
to
he
it.
You know
didn't.
what?
You had the same reaction.
You know what? I'm lying. This bitch, all right? I met her in the midst of COVID, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2020 summer.
We were just let out of our house like caged animals.
We were just let out of the house. So that summer, I was down the Jersey Shore a lot. And Antonia was on Staten Island hanging out with like my friends. So one day they're like, come and meet us at the Marina Cafe. So I go to the Marina Cafe and it's so funny how our friendship has come full circle. Okay? I always thought that I was too cool for TikTok. I'm like, I'm not TikToking, fuck that. So I go to the Marina Cafe and I see this very tan, very Italian looking girl with this micro Gucci swing pouch. So
Fanny bag.
at first I'm like, who's the big bitch with the small fanny pack? She wasn't big, but she was big. You know what I'm saying?
I was big. I was
I'm
bigger
like,
than I
who's that
am
bitch
now?
over there? And
Thank
they're
you
like,
for
all right,
those
it's the
that
bitch
big.
Antonia. So I saw Antonia in the corner doing TikToks. And I said, who's the bitch doing the TikTok? This is
No,
weird.
you knew who I was. At that point, you just were like, he was ready to write me off in that
when
moment.
I say who's that bitch, doesn't mean that I didn't know who you were. It just means that, like, who's that bitch? Like,
Yeah, he was over
you're
me in that moment.
You're
As
doing.
quick as he liked me was as quick as he was ready to never see me
Yeah,
again.
so I was like, all right. But then I feel like a week or 2 later, we all went out to bocce together, and I was
did,
like,
and
all right,
that's when
this
you
is my
liked
girl.
The TikTok that I was making when he hates me is still on
It's
my
still on her
TikTok.
TikTok.
We can still pull
I
it
can
up.
tell you what she was wearing.
Me too.
She was wearing a spaghetti strap, like one piece. She
And I was big back and I had no titties.
she was wide back then.
I was big back
So the
with no
spaghetti
titties.
strap, you really saw the spaghetti in it.
Uh-huh.
And she had on Yeezy sneakers, and she had on this white and navy and red microscopic fanny pack.
Which I left at the Hard Rock in Florida, and I
Which you're saying
It's
was
on
too
now.
small
It was
for
no, listen to
her
me.
bigness at the
Listen
time.
to me.
Which you are literally
Listen.
tickling Jen right now
I
because
have
the
a
amount of
micro-
times Jen tells me a big girl can't wear a small
Listen to me,
bag.
a big girl can wear a
She's-
small bag
she'll
because
die on that hill.
no. It is not about the size of the purse, it's about how much is in it.
Yeah, well,
Okay?
So what did you think?
No, I didn't think anything of it.
That shit was Gucci.
I didn't think anything of it.
I
just
still
never
think a big bitch
I
should
just
not wear
never
a small
saw
purse.
I just never saw another big bitch with a micro purse.
This town wasn't big enough for the two of
No,
us.
it's not, and it's still not. But
That's why I slipped down.
luckily, she got skinny. And now we both fit in the frame together.
Yeah.
Because before that, imagine if we were TikToking with the both of us being big back. That would not have worked out because how were we both gonna fit in the frame?
It would have never worked.
Exactly, it would have never worked.
That's hysterical.
And I'm sorry, there's nothing more iconic than a fat bitch and a skinny bitch coming together because stereotypically, you're not supposed to be together. You know, like the biggie stay with the biggie, the small stay with the small.
We should now with Biggie Smalls.
Literally.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so over the course of time, has your friendship remained constant or have there been ups and downs?
I'll be honest with you, we
Ebbs and
only had no. I mean, like you really can't say that it's ebbs and flows. But I feel like we've only had one fight where we didn't speak for a little. That was on me. I didn't talk to you for a little bit, and then, bitch, we
I
came
didn't
back.
talk to you for a few days.
Bitch, we came back. But the beauty of me and Antonia, and like I give her flowers for dealing with me because like people. I don't really have friends that like you fight and make up with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and Antonia can fight and make up.
To me, real friendship is when you can fight and make up.
No, of course. Listen, I treat all my friends like my family. So like, if I'm fighting with Antonia the same way I fight with my mother.
Yeah.
I'm fighting with Antonia the same way I fight with any of my friends that I know for as many, 20 years that I know are going to be in my life forever. That's just the way we are. So I think that's why our friendship works.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of haters, don't like to see us friends, but bitch, you can't break us. Plain and simple.
Well, now let's wrap it back to Jen. So, first of all, I want you to know that you had met Rob right after me and you just made up from not speaking.
Correct.
Literally, I want to say like 2 weeks before was when me and Rob finally spoke again and went to dinner and sat down.
Yes, because we made up in April.
In April.
Yeah.
And then he met you on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, so listen, before we get into the Cinco de Mayo, I want to make it very clear. So there's no, people can't come out of the woodwork and be like, I've always known who Jennifer Graziano was, okay? If you lived on Staten Island, if you were of a certain age, besides the fact that I'm a Mob Wife super fan, I've always known who you were. So let's just get that first of all. I knew who you were. You were friends with Antonia. I knew you guys were hanging out, whatever. But yeah, Cinco de Mayo was the first time I really saw you in action. We hung out, we had drinks.
He knew I was being accused to be a clout chaser.
But then you scared me a little bit.
Why?
You scared me because of the company you were around. So now listen, I've been around crazy shit. I have stories for days. But the Cinco de Mayo event shook me because you introduced me now to the lifestyle. We're out at a restaurant that converted into a bar club on Cinco de Mayo, okay? The drinks are flowing, we're all having a good time, we're in a crowd. So we're all at the table and this very drunk man starts like fucking with all of us. And he was very obnoxious.
Women specifically,
okay,
which
the
is
women.
where it went.
Yeah, so he was fucking with all the women.
Very rude, very drunk.
Very rude, very drunk, and very perverted.
Yeah.
Like, disgusting, creepy old man. Like,
Very
no.
overstepped.
The vibes were not it. Like,
Very not demure.
Yeah.
not demure. Go back to, the corner club where you might hang out. So anyway, this guy is, like, really disrespectful. And Jennifer Graziano's man came in and saved the day. There was a Mob Wife style knockout. Forget the rumble on the rooftop. This was a knockout on the pavement.
It wasn't even a 1-2 punch. It was just a one.
No, it was a one punch like
was a
that.
one.
This man,
It was a huff and puff and blow that house down.
I've never seen a guy fly across the room. It was like
Lights out.
he went flying.
He was pretty big.
That was a big man.
No, he
That was a Jabba the Hutt style
Listen,
looking man.
I wouldn't call him big back, but he was definitely broad and like.
Big. He looks like Don Vito. He had like one wonky eye and he was big as hell.
Yeah, and you know what? He did have a diabetic belly now that I come to think of it.
That's terrible.
We're gonna cancel. Please don't, Ozempic, I need you.
So to make a long story short, Jennifer Graziano really lived up to the hype. Like, it was exactly what I thought it was. It was a Mob Wife scene, but in real life, and there was no cameras around.
She puts the real in reality TV.
Now, do you recall the story the way I recall the story, or did I exaggerate a little bit?
No. That was pretty much it.
And then we made a break.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Then we made a clean break for it.
Then what happened?
so what happened was we are all friends now, and here we are.
For real, Rob came up with an idea. Since this whole surge of Mob Wife aesthetic and everything was going on.
Mob Wife is airing again on TV,
Right,
on both
Mob Wife-
Paramount Plus, and now VH1 again, which is important because all the people that weren't watching it back then can now catch it in its first viewing now.
Yeah.
So this is kind of why we're relevant and doing this podcast now.
With the Sopranos anniversary that came up too, everyone on social media kind of made it a thing to do the whole Mob Wives aesthetic. So even the kids back then that were too young to be interested in Mob Wives, all those, what are they, millennials, I guess?
I don't know.
Kind of.
No,
took a-
millennials
No,
are-
we're millennials.
So then what are they, Gen Z?
They're Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, see it now on TikTok, took a liking to it, and now they took on this whole Mob Wife aesthetic persona. So there was a whole big surge in the Mob Wife world. So with that going on, you were capitalizing off of it. And Rob said, I have a great idea. We should do a reality TV rewatch, What Mob Wives. And we knew we had to drag you into it because people need to hear what goes on from you. You saw so much shit.
I know, and the only reason why I am doing this is because of you and you. Otherwise, I would never get in front of this camera. And also because Antonia convinced me of how Alex Cooper built her entire podcast network. And so from a business model perspective, I was like, maybe let's try that. So it's kind of a little business related for me and also friendship related. So
There you
Well,
go.
my thing is this. I am a reality TV super fan, okay? No one can ever say that I have not always repped reality TV. Mob Wives, Jersey Shore, The Hills,
The
Laguna
Hills,
Beach.
Laguna Beach.
Everything Real Housewives, okay?
Period.
To me, reality TV is my escape. Like, that's where I go when, like, I don't want to live in this real world anymore. But Mob Wives for me was like, I couldn't escape that reality because it is my reality.
Right.
We live here. We live this. We know the people. So it's like,
Right, it wouldn't have made sense to do it to anybody else. Obviously, you being the super fan as well as being from Staten Island and understanding the culture and the lifestyle.
oh, no, listen to me. If you would have did this with anyone else, no. I'm sorry. I would have came in and I would have had to smash the cameras because this can only be done with the three of us.
Seriously.
I agree. That's why we're here. So, okay, guys. So, what kind of guests should we have this season?
What kind of guest should we have? I mean, obviously, this wouldn't be a Mob Wives rewatch without a Mob Wife or two or three, depending on which ones want to come sit on the comfy couch with us.
Of course, we're going to have some mob wives on here, but who's your favorite and who would you rather see? And same for you.
I have a controversial favorite Mob Wife, and it is Miss Ramona Rizzo. She's my favorite Mob Wife. Obviously, Renee is my favorite, is my other favorite Mob Wife too. But Ramona and Renee are my favorite Mob Wives.
Okay, so we'll work on that for you. What about you?
Thank you.
Of course, we have to talk to Renee because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? We need some fun, some spice, some controversy, some fights. So would love to talk to Renee. Would love to talk to Alicia. Would love to talk to Alicia, actually. I really love Alicia.
I love Alicia too.
I love her.
I want to be Alicia.
Me too, bad.
Okay, I want to be her.
I'm obsessed
Or
with
better
her.
yet, I'll even be her granddaughter. I don't care.
For real.
One
Her
or the
granddaughter,
other.
her granddaughter has the life. Are you
And
kidding me?
forget-
Alicia, I'll be your daughter-in-law.
Forget, listen to me,
They're all
forget even
single
being
right now.
her.
I know.
Well, I hate to break it to you. Alicia's going to be a tough get, but I'm going to do my hardest to get her. She's kind of left this Mob Wives universe behind her and really doesn't want to revisit it.
Oh, we know. And we... Good for you, Alicia.
I mean, she's living the life. I wouldn't
She
want to revisit
is.
it either if I were her.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I'm going to try. I do speak to her regularly. But for you guys, you should know that we are kicking this podcast off with none other than Renee, because not only is she my sister, but she was kind of synonymous with Mob Wives. She had tons of story to share, and she wants to share it with us on the podcast as well. We will have other Mob Wives. We will work on getting Ramona and Karen and anyone else who wants to come on. So who else do you want outside of Mob Wives?
So I think we should be bringing in everyone that's in our phone book. We could play some fun games, talk some shit, find out what's going on in their lives. You know, like, those are the people that I want to be sitting down with on this couch.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would love to get some Bravo celebrities on.
100%.
If I can get a Bravo celebrity in this vicinity, I don't know what I would do. I might just pass out, to be honest with you. And
Literally.
You will have your first pass. I don't know. Has anyone ever passed out on a podcast before? Like, I might be the first.
But something to do with Mob Wives would be appropriate. So yeah.
Yeah, no, listen. Anyone that
Dolores
has a story,
Catania.
stop it, please.
Lala Kent would die. Alex Cooper, Alex Earl. Would love
Yeah.
them.
Well, she's the inspiration for part of this,
Oh.
so we have to get her one way.
So now that we have established that we are the Straightened Out podcast, let's just break it down for you. You're gonna come here, not only are you gonna get Mob Wives, not only are you gonna get reality stars, you're gonna get influencers, you may even get people in our family, friends of ours, people with personalities.
People that know the behind the scenes of other shows, other producers, other creators. Anyone that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Basically, this is an open forum for anyone that has a story and wants to talk about it. Also, may I add, if you have a beef, if you want to straighten it out, if we got to get referees, if we got to get security, we don't got a big budget, but we got a small budget, we will get you here to straighten it out. Okay, because one thing I like to do is throw myself into the drama, throw myself into the controversy. I like to
Does he ever?
talk the shit, straighten it out, and as we said, we fight, we talk about it, we make up, we kiss, and we leave like nothing ever happened, because that's the beauty of beef.
It's the Italian way.
If you have a beef and you want to straighten it out with us, okay, you got 3 Instagrams right here. Jennifer Graziano, Tonesy Macaroni, Real Raw Pep, write us. We also have the straightened out Instagram, TikTok, a website. Everything will be linked below. Just write us.
Write us, pigeon mail, whatever works.
And we will straighten out your beef along with ours.
For real. Oh my God. Big shout out to Furniture to Go on Staten Island for hooking us up with the hottest podcast set furniture. I'm talking this stunning white couch that's basically calling your name. 2 emerald green chairs that are just the perfect pop of color. And a round marble coffee table that is chef's kiss gorgeous, okay? You got to get yourself to 2456 Richmond Avenue, Staten Island, New York, for all your furniture and design dreams. And trust me, if it ain't on the floor, Mikey will make it happen. Whatever you want, he's got you. Tell him the Straighten Out Podcast sent you, and you'll get VIP treatment with next level furniture, period.